Oh,
All right, our hosts have some topics they want to share, but we only have three minutes to discuss and 1 minute to
oh
hear from
Lord.
our audience. So type your comments fast. And Robbie, you're up first.
All right. Corey Pujols, a 27-year-old Florida Dunkin employee, pleaded guilty to felony battery after he punched a customer who subsequently fell, fractured their skull, and died a few days later, was sentenced to 2 years of house arrest, 200 hours of community service, and to complete anger management courses.
Mm.
A little bit of context. On May 1st, Vonell Cook, the victim, 77 years old, 6 feet tall, 225, not a small dude, was asked to leave the premises after a verbal confrontation with employees at the drive-through window. Rather than leave, he chose to enter the restaurant and, according to witnesses, verbally attacked Corey with some of the worst language and racial epithets. So Pujol warned Cook to stop using the words, and when it continued, he did strike him. Do you feel that the punishment fits the crime?
So do we think the punishment fits the crime? So basically, you're saying the dude uh, punched him in the face for calling him a epithet and killed him, and he got community service. I say no. I'm gonna be honest. I say no. I think when you do something like that, you attack someone for one. We're not. When someone says something, you're not supposed to put your hands on people. You're not. You're not supposed to put your hands on people. So if you put your hands on people, on someone, and you knock him out and you kill him, you need to pay for that. This,
Here we go, agreeing with Neo again. But yeah, I don't think the punishment fits the crime, and this is why it sets a bad precedent. It
yes.
sets a bad precedent
Yeah,
because
yeah.
today we're saying, it's a racial epithet, it's the N word. Tomorrow it could be you're ugly. Then it could be I don't like your shoes. Like, where is the bar? Where do we draw the line here? And let me just say, I've been in this position before. Okay. I
Mhm.
was in a bar. I'm going to say it was probably 2007 in a bar back in New York City. A young white woman called me a black tar baby B word. And I hit her. And I hit her. I was lucky that I knew the bouncers of this particular bar. It was my neighborhood bar. I knew the bouncers, and they ushered me out of there with the quickness
All right.
because the
Let's,
police were outside. I could have been arrested, and
Mhm.
rightfully so.
Mhm.
let's see what Ellen has
Rightfully
to
so.
say.
Mhm.
Ellen.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys, especially in the sense that it sets a precedent because, like you said, it could lead to a slippery slope. And I understand. I mean, I perhaps would have reacted the same way. This guy comes in. He didn't have to come into the store, right? I mean, he didn't come in deserving to die, but he put himself in a situation where he could
Mhm.
have got swung on. But yeah, I can't. I, it,
Yeah.
I think that he should have more time.
Robbie, 15 seconds if you.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, taking a life does warrant some kind of punishment for sure, and this seems to be a little bit
Mhm.
lenient. I know that they took into
Mhm.
account the lack of criminal history and
Hmm.
how the attack
Right.
actually played out. So, I mean, to actually see it would be something to see the actual context. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. I feel that this is a little light on the punishment side.
Yeah, I think I
And
might
we're
be.
not saying life. We're not saying
No,
life
No.
in prison,
No.
No, manslaughter,
but
man, he probably needs a couple of years
Yeah.
at least. I mean,
yeah.
he just
Yeah.
something. He needs some punishment. I mean, yeah.
because what's the next trigger going to be?
I mean,
What's the
what if
next trigger going to
and then
be?
what if you use this as justification for me yelling at someone else and they knocking me out, killing me, and then they're saying, well,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
okay. He- yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Lord knows you say some things
I don't want to talk
that
about
want people to like put hands, want people to use their hand.
All right. Olivia says, what's the difference from what he did in police shooting an unarmed person or when they accidentally choke someone? You can't be judge and jury or play God. Jasmine Robinson says, this is a
That's
toughie.
that's apples and oranges,
Yeah,
apples and
Yeah.
oranges and grapes.
I
I,
get the this
I
is
agree
this is
with that.
Jacqueline Robinson. This is a toughie. I get the outrage over that word. But excuse me, but the employees were in the process of calling the police to have peepaw peepaw removed. Uh, Gary Winter, what were the laws in the state? What were the sentencing guidelines there? Uh, Gianni Storm says definitely an interesting sentence, but hey, the older gentleman was out of kind too, out of line too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
being out of line doesn't, with words, doesn't necessarily mean you need to be attacked.
Yep.
And
And
again,
killed.
physically attacked. And again, I did it. I hit somebody for calling me a racial slur. Was I in the right? Absolutely not.
No.
And it got worse after that. Like before they escorted me from the premises, it got worse after that. But I was in the wrong. She was too. Don't get me wrong. But I was in the wrong. I
Yeah.
should have been better that night. I
Yep.
should have been better. And was
All right.
lucky I didn't get arrested.
All right, let's get to the next one.
Hmm.
So, Lizzie, you are up next.
Woo! So we have Black Panther director Ryan Coogler speaking out after being mistakenly suspected of attempted robbery. So last week, Ryan Coogler went into a bank, I believe it was Bank of America. He was trying to withdraw some money for an employee that he has that does not accept payment in check or Venmo or whatever. He or she only accepts payment in cash. So he went to Bank of America. We're still kind of in pandemic times, right? So he had on sunglasses, he had on a mask, he had on a hoodie, and he went to the teller and he said to the teller or passed a note to the teller, didn't speak to the teller saying this. He passed a note to the teller saying, I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account. Please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet. And so from that, the teller thought that it was very suspicious. And so she called the police, thought that she was being robbed. And so the police came. They didn't arrest him initially. They put handcuffs on him, put him in the car, talking to him back and forth, trying to get the story or what have you. Um, he was not charged with anything. They finally got the story. But online, obviously, people were outraged about this. One, because it's Ryan Coogler, right? Two, because it's
Hmm.
another instance in which a black man is being discriminated against and racially profiled, but also because the teller in question is a black woman. And there was a lot of chatter, especially from non black people online,
Let's
suggesting
get
that
some
this isn't
comments on
racial
this.
profiling because black woman. So I want to know what you guys think about it.
All right, Robbie?
Racial profiling or no?
I think that racial profiling can exist within the same ethnic groups. Absolutely. It's the teller made a call based on the person on based on Cook's appearance and or not Cook, Kugler, based on their appearance and the note. I mean, that's a little suspect to be doing that in the bank. Go count the money discreetly. I want it in small bills. Like,
Hmm.
that would throw up a yellow flag for me too. Maybe talk to the bank manager about it, but calling the popo, mm,
Yep.
yeah,
Ellen?
I know that Bank of America has apologized for.
Hmm.
Ellen?
Ellen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think this is white. I mean, white people loved that the bank teller was black because they can go, aha, then like that you that's what you hear, right? I mean, obviously, people can you know, black people can perpetuate anti-blackness. Anyone can do that against their own race or sexuality or what be it. I mean, it would have like just the note would have raised some red flags for me, but I wouldn't call the police, especially knowing what would happen. Like I would be very careful about how I go about addressing it because I know how it could be misconstrued if he's, just doing some weird transaction, but not trying to harm anyone, right?
Yep. Yep. Looks like our comments online. Deja Jones says I'm sorry, this is Gianni Storm. He went old bank robbery style. This is stick up. This is and then Jacqueline Robinson says, let me tell y'all something. Black policemen and professionals racially profiled other black people all the time. It's my understanding that he
Yeah.
provided his account number and other pertinent information. And just my quick thoughts is I just, you know, it seems suspect, but the problem is we don't get the benefit of the doubt, you know. Uh,
Ever,
Yeah.
yeah,
ever.
and that's where the problem comes in.
Like,
Uh,
we know a lot of weird white males in Hollywood, right? Or even in our regular
Hmm.
life. Like, if this had been Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio going in with sunglasses and a mask and a hoodie,
Yep.
because you really couldn't identify him as Ryan Coogler.
sure.
But if this
Mhm.
had been a white guy doing the same thing, would her red flag have been up, regardless of if she's black or white? Nah, nah, nah.
But
Would
I
have
if
been
think
he,
given
so.
white.
if it was if the situation was the same where he handed a note with the account number and all this other stuff, and it was a white guy, no, they would just be like, okay, it's a crazy person from New York or crazy person
That
from
was
the
my
city,
point. Yeah,
right?
that was my
Hmm.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If this were a white
sure.
guy, they would have been given the benefit
Benefit of the
of the
doubt,
doubt.
and that's really what's missing.
But
All right,
Ryan Coogler, you need a better process, bruh, to cash these big checks.
yeah, that does make sense.
You need a bit
All right,
honestly, just you should have someone in the bank that you go to every
all right,
time
all right,
when
Liz, let
you
me get to
have
this
big
last comment.
transactions like this.
All right, so
True.
Ade says he wrote a note saying that he wished to withdraw the money from his own account. He gave his proper identification and bank card. And Gianni says, Holly weird. All right. All right. So that was interesting. So let's say, is this truth, lies, or shenanigans?
Ugh.
Lies, shenanigans.
I mean, for the purposes that we trying to be a PG show, I'm just
Shen-
gonna say
Yeah.
PG.
it's shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Yeah,
Shenanigans.
It's
I also
shenanigans.
Everybody's got shenanigans.
yeah.
All right. And
My PG-13 ones are on the floor.
for this Dunkin' employee knocking out the guy and fatally killing him, is that truth? Is that truth,
Truth,
Hmm.
lies,
lies,
or
shenanigans.
shenanigans?
More shenanigans.
I don't even I don't know what
It's,
fits.
yeah, it's
It's just bad.
BS. It's he
Yeah.
shouldn't have
It's
gotten
just
such a
bad.
he got over too light of a sentence for sure.
No.
Too light of a sentence. He
What was that, Rob? What was that?
anytime you
Yeah,
kill
really
somebody,
bad.
anytime you kill
Oh
somebody
my
with
god.
an intentional action, you need to be in. All right. We
But
got
even if he didn't die, like he could have. Let's say he lived, he still could have been seriously injured and impaired.
Yeah.
Like we got to be careful of how we're hitting folks. As much as I want to hit a ton of people, gotta be careful.
It's true.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah.
all right, so that's
Agreed.
our quick fire, and our sponsor for quick fire is Utopian Lights Candles. That's Utopian with an E. Utopian Lights Luxury Candles caters to a specific clientele. They focus on clients who are on their healing journey to self love. Visit utopianlights.co for a healthy glow up. Use the code GOALGETTER, and you'll receive 25% off your purchase of $45 or more. Utopianlights.co.